Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for April 2022. So on April 29th, just hours after Pluto decides to go retrograde, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves, moving out of Taurus energy and into its place of power in Gemini. So Mercury in Gemini is a force to be reckoned with. Of course, my Gemini and Virgo friends feeling this first and foremost as Mercury, your ruler, takes its place of power. And for all of us, we're definitely going to feel the pressure in our headspace, in our mental plane. So disclosure here, we're about to go retrograde. Yes, that's right, my friends. Mercury just entered into its pre-shadow period on April 26th, while still in Taurus energy. While still in Tauran energy, we trine Pluto before Pluto descends into the darkness, giving us a huge indication that there is some huge information, huge details, huge shift in our perception taking place as Mercury sets up to leave Taurus in its final degree and set up camp in Gemini energy. We will be going retrograde May 10th. And it is, like any other retrograde, a time for the mental plane to slow down, for us to revisit some topics, some themes, some choices, some decisions from the past, to revise our plans, re-edit some things, reorganize, restructure, recalibrate. All of those words come with the retrograde. But Mercury moves into Gemini hours after Pluto goes retrograde. Listen to that astro forecast if you haven't already. And hours before the new moon in Taurus, our solar eclipse. You best believe things are going to get hella cray-cray. And I say that with all kinds of excitement because if you've been listening to me for any amount of time, you know that when things go cray-cray, we are being set up for some powerful breakthroughs. We have to understand that Mercury, while in Gemini, we are focused on information. We want to know everything that there is to know about everything that we are even slightly interested in. We are highly communicative, but communication is going to slow down, get a little bit wonky, because again, we're in the pre-shadow period, preparing to go retrograde. We are hella curious. We have questions. And especially because Pluto just went retrograde, we are on a quest for truth. And we are going to find those answers within ourselves because we sure as hell are not getting the correct information, the truth in our external realms. We are highly sociable. We're going to want to reach out. We're going to want to connect. We like to dabble in debates. We like to feel, the triggers in other people. We have to remember that Gemini energy represented by the twins, 1 foot in the ego, 1 foot in the spirit, 1 foot in the darkness, 1 foot in the light, 1 foot in one world, the other foot in the other. Why? Because Gemini energy is meant to show us the very extremes in order for us to find a grounding point. We normally are faced with some very heavy decisions that are on opposite side of the spectrum. We are faced with information that opposes each other in order for us to figure out what is our truth. Where can we comfortably find a meet point in between this very dualistic, polarized information for us to stand true? This is a time where we are really going to be overwhelmed in our mental plane. The Gemini energy definitely affects us having a disconnect between what it is that we're thinking in our inner realm and how it actually comes out of our mouths. Again, communication seems to take a huge hit. Now, typically speaking, when we enter into the retrograde, that is a time where communication falls apart, where electronics fall apart, where cars fall apart, where communication, especially using text, email, technology, falls apart. We're definitely going to see a huge dip, a huge dive in the intellect. We're not going to be able to be thinking clearly. We're not going to be able to give as much output because we're very much in a time for taking things in. This is going to lead to lots of confusion, lots of arguments, lots of misunderstandings. Typically speaking, with Mercury in Gemini, that creates that energy anyways. But of course, we're slowing down. We're going into a retrograde, which is just going to amplify those particular topics and themes. And we're easily distracted. Our nervousness, our anxiety, our electrical system in our bodies are popping off because Mercury, of course, ruler of the mental plane, is the lower intellect of the electricity that we bring in from the cosmos. Uranian energy, of course, the higher intellect, and all of it affects the central nervous system. So, we're going to have a lot to process, a lot to think about. We are going to be jumping around, having multiple windows open in our brain at one time. It's going to be hard to concentrate. We want to literally be stimulated all the freaking time. And it can get very overwhelming, especially with some of the other aspects that are going to take place and overlap Mercury, not only being in its place of power, but being in its retrograde as well. So out of this, we are definitely going to have to face some of the decisions and choices that we've made in the past that we're no longer aligned with, that we're going to have to, kind of reevaluate, if you will. This is going to be a huge time where we have this wild card energy coming from the eclipse season as well, affecting us. We're really going to have to roll with the punches. And let me just tell you, Mercury is very focused on trying to make logical and practical sense out of our circumstances. And with the eclipse energy, it's very metaphysical. It's very out of this world. It's not going to make a whole lot of sense. And that in itself is going to put us at odds between our heart, between our head, between our ego, between our spirit, and overall just not happy, just not jiving with the conflicting information coming in from all of our senses.